WTT 世界乒联重新定义极限，推动乒乓球运动的发展，激发球员的无限潜能。我们突破、超越，创造新的传奇。WTT 无限可能，无限广阔，飞得更高，飞向无穷。欢迎来到 WTT 8级场，中国北京。
让我们一起倒数，8、7、6、5、4。首先有请来自中国 from China 陈元宇快慢。现在有请来自韩国 from Korea Republic Lim Jonghoon 申玉斌。
Well, these are the top seeds in the mixed doubles. It's all smiles for Shin Yubin as she leads in her teammate Lim Jonghoon. This is the mixed doubles with a place in the quarterfinals at stake. At the other end of the table, we've got Kuaiman and Chen Yuanyu of China, a new partnership. We'll talk about them in just a moment's time. This is a best of 5, this match, as all of the doubles are right up until the final, unlike the singles where we go from best of 7 from the quarterfinals onwards. So here's the tail of the table. This is how the pairs line up. Shin Yubin, Lim Jonghoon, a very formidable partnership indeed, a long-standing, very successful partnership for the Republic of Korea, and top seeds here this week. They're taking on Kuaiman, who at a very young age, just 21 still, is incredibly accomplished in terms of doubles. We normally see her partnering Lim Jonghoon, men's world #1. But this week, she's alongside Chen Yuanyu, so it'll be interesting indeed to see how they get on. Well, we'll have the coin toss as ever, and then a quick warm-up before this match gets underway. Players being called up to the table for the coin toss.
For the toss, black and white. White is the call by Korea. Black, you won the toss, China. You will receive.
Well, the home players win the toss, opt to receive first. Fraser Riley sitting alongside me here, and this is quite an intriguing partnership, isn't it, Fraser, the Chinese pairing? Because, of course, we do see Kuaiman playing alongside Lim Jonghoon, men's world #1. The two of them together have won multiple titles, but this week she's got a different partner in Chen Yuanyu, and together they are ranked 22 in the world, which is pretty decent, isn't it? But a surprising partnership perhaps this week.
Yeah, brand new partnership that we're going to get treated to here in the first match of day 3 here at the WTT China Smash. Great to be with you, Rebecca. I think that the Koreans are indeed coming into this as the favourites. An embarrassment of experience and riches to their names. That bronze medal at the Paris Olympics, their standout achievement, I would say. Interesting, isn't it, seeing Chen Yuanyu alongside Kuaiman? I wonder why that is. Potentially Lim Jonghoon just wants to focus more on the singles nowadays. Maybe they just want to occupy more spaces on the world ranking list. No limit as to how many players you could play with.
Well, we can speculate all day long, but they are, nonetheless, despite the fact they are new, this is their first event together. We've got Chen Yuanyu, who normally plays alongside Shin Yi. Together they're ranked 58, and playing along Kuaiman for what will be the first time at a Smash. He plays alongside others. Chen Yuanyu, he is well versed in terms of mixed doubles, but this will be interesting indeed because kuaiman, we see her in mixed doubles all the time, and indeed as well in women's doubles, so she is an incredibly handy player and perhaps will be the anchor for this partnership today.
I think she will be the anchor, the left-handed player. She's so silky, so seamless. kuaiman, of course, the world champion in women's doubles with Lim Jonghoon, so she, I would say, is the stronger doubles player. But Chen Yuanyu in fine form. We saw him defeat Dmitry Oktarov yesterday.
Yeah, interesting indeed. Well, let's have a look then at the draw. The Chinese pair came through the first round with a decent win over the French pair, Simon Gauzy and Pratika Pavard, beating them in 5, whereas the Korean pair had a first round bye, so they'll be well rested. This is the event schedule anyway, the round of 32 today in the singles. We started off with a 64-player draw, so we are whittling our way through the draws, but this is for a place in the quarterfinals doubles. Well, let's talk, Fraser, about this Korean pair who've had a first-round bye, and they reached the finals of the US Smash, the Europe Smash, losing out to kuaiman and Lim Jonghoon. So this is a very good opportunity, isn't it, for them to have a clean run to the final and perhaps even take the title, given that kuaiman might not be as big of a threat.
Potentially, but let's remember, as we see the fan vote here, we have Wang Chuqin and Sun Ying-sha, the 3-time world champions, making a special appearance here at the China Smash, to the delight of the Chateau fans. So I'd say that they are actually the strongest partnership here in the draw. It'll be tough to get through.
Just adds an extra element of intrigue, as if we needed any more intrigue at this China Smash. Well, it's a good, decent opening point for the Chinese pair. And I was going to say, Fraser, when we were watching that rally, just how well drilled Shim and Im are. They've got wonderful chemistry together, don't they? They've got such a good understanding of one another's games, but nevertheless, a good point for the Chinese to get us going.
Yeah, the Koreans gel beautifully, Rebecca. A very, very special relationship. They've been playing together for a while. They've cleaned up on the contender and star contender circuits. And as you said, have done very well at Smash level too. Oh, sensational forehand from Lim Jonghoon. Stylistically and tactically speaking, Shin is the anchor for them. She stays close, she's effective, compact, and stable. Lim Jonghoon is an immense shot maker, a real slinger of the ball. And the flick, so strong.
As is the forehand.
I think they miscontacted something there. It came off quite funky, that ball. kuaiman dealt with it, but Im coming in over the table. Yeah, Im is the most powerful player at the table here, Rebecca. That flick so versatile.
Well, they have cleaned up this year in terms of star contender titles, winners of 3 titles at that level. In Chennai, in Ljubljana, and in Zagreb. Interestingly, it was Chen Yuanyu who was beaten in that final in Zagreb, on half of the beaten team anyway.
Chen Yuanyu won his first WTT series title this year against Tomokazu Haramoto. Haramoto got his revenge in the final of a different contender after that. Seeing some interesting web spun here. Excellent reach from Shin Yubin. But the Chinese holding down the fort. They gain that advantageous position at the table right there.
Well, a bit of a miss hit from kuaiman, and we suspected, didn't we, before this match that it was going to be incredibly tight. That is proving to be so in these early stages.
Feel as though Lim Jonghoon, as the most experienced player at the table here in the Infinity Arena, is that the player to watch, I feel like if he's on song, if he's dialed in, the Koreans will win this match. It's as simple as that. He is an outstanding doubles player.
So apologies.
I'd say he's probably the top 3 doubles players in the world in Jonghoon.
But by the same token, kuaiman is an incredibly important doubles player for Team China. So are you saying perhaps that Lim Jonghoon is more important, more effective?
I'd say he's more confident because of that experience. And, you know, it's just impending doom. When you see him wind back, it's crazy that he can hit the ball so hard. You know, at the World Championships, remember, and this is quite surprising when you think about it, Lim Jonghoon and kuaiman were beaten in the quarterfinals at World Championships. Being top seeds, they lost to Maharu Yoshimura and Satsuki Odo. Lim Jonghoon didn't win a single medal, being the world #1 player at that Worlds. So, you know, we're waxing lyrical about them. They've broken through, they are the best. The experience is so valuable.
Yeah, that was a really surprising outcome, wasn't it, at the World Championships for the then world #1. Expectations obviously sky high on these Chinese players, but that was surprising indeed.
Yeah. A lovely little brush up there from kuaiman. So unassuming, so humble. She gets her head down, barely gives anything away emotionally. Very, very astute and stoic. You can see there in the corner for the Team China stars, Xiao Jian. He is an excellent coach. I think for me, he's probably the best coach in the world. They get him in when they want to make some Grand Slam champions. He is an expert in doubles. Can coach anyone in singles, but you usually see him in the corner for Wang and Sun and for the favourable doubles partnerships.
7-9.
Not seeing so many long rallies here. I think as it is a first-time encounter, we're going to see players sort of testing the waters in a sense, growing into the match. It's the first match of the day as well, of course.
First of 12.
8-9.
Packed schedule here in the Infinity Arena. That was nicely done, wasn't it? Shin Yubin just taking a chance there after some nice touch play between the 2 sets of players.
A beautiful touch play here, neat and tidy. That one just popped up, Shin swept in, good spin into the backhand. kuaiman denied by the top of the net tape. Good depth. Sometimes I feel like Shin struggles on the slower balls, which seems counterintuitive, but she's a deep thinking player.
10-9.
Meaning that the slower balls give her more time to think and more time to potentially miscalculate.
Yes, exactly, Rebecca.
Oh. You could hear the effort with which Lim Jonghoon hit that ball, but to no avail. The Chinese pair taking the opening game, a tight opening game, 11 points to 9. That is a good start for the brand new pairing here. Perhaps unexpectedly so.
Well, I was very impressed that they even defeated Simon Gauzy and Pratik Pavard, 2 players with incredible ball feel. If they beat these 2, goodness me, I'll tip my hat.
Well, here's a look then at the world rankings for mixed doubles. The Korean pair Lim Jonghoon and Shin Yubin 2nd overall. But it is kuaiman and Lin Shidong who are streets ahead of the rest. Look at that huge points tally that they've amassed. Almost on 10,000 points. But kuaiman, of course, partnering somebody else at this event. And we've speculated as to why, Fraser, but we don't have the answer to that just yet. But it is fun to speculate, isn't it?
It is, it certainly is. I do bet it is to do with the fact that Lim Jonghoon wants to defend his men's singles title, doesn't want to be too tired. He's already played a lot of events recently, you know, Macau lost quite early, and Europe Smash so close to winning the title, so there's a few factors, and usually the top players are prioritising singles. Doubles will no longer be in the Olympics, apart from in the mixed team event, so many things to consider here.
Love 1.
Now, in such a tight opening game, Fraser, the Korean pair losing by just 2 points. How do they sort of get themselves back into this? Say get back into it. We're only in the second game, but they have made a good start. How do they make sure they continue in this vein?
I think it's just a question of belief. It's a question of focus. It's a question of being relaxed here. Can't let that first game affect them. Oh, and anything like that'll certainly help. I feel as though neither pair was at their very best in the first game. I think this match is a ticking time bomb, and rally-wise, the best is yet to come.
We see that so often, though, don't we? As players feel each other out in the opening stages.
Yeah.
As well, there's a lot of pressure on the Chinese pair playing in Beijing in front of a home crowd.
And despite that pressure being really, really on, and because Team China are very keen to silence any kind of doubters, we heard Wang Chuqin's statement after winning the Champions Macau addressing that. I've been quite surprised as to how much experimentation we're seeing here at the China Smash. How many first-time pairings we're seeing.
They do get a number of wildcards, of course, don't they, the host nation?
Yeah, that's right. But, you know, that's what Team China love to do, throw the players in the deep end. How else do you know if they can swim, if they can deal with pressure unless you put them in high-pressure situations?
Yeah, there is nothing higher pressure than playing in the Chinese capital in front of the home fans in the final smash of the season as well, because of course this is where the players really want to amass those points heading into the season ender in Hong Kong as well.
Exactly. Here the Jiayous now in full force. See if Chen Yuanyu and KUAI can add some oil here. Start cooking a little bit. There's so many world-class aspects to that push. It's deep, it's slower, it's bouncier, and it's floaty. It's a nothing ball by definition, but it's so different to the push that's backspinny and quick. Did well there not to stall initially, the Koreans, but I think it did really construct the point nicely for the Chinese.
Well, the Chinese have now put the Korean pair under real pressure in the last couple of points, because both Lim Jonghoon and Shin Yubin have pushed their returns long, so they're clearly not dealing well with whatever's coming towards them.
You can sense a big momentum swing here.
Yeah, they did have that nice 5-point lead, didn't they?
There's that flick. Both these partnerships have the advantage of being lefty-righty. You know, for me, the strongest flicker is Lim Jonghoon here. We need to see that at its best if the Koreans are to stand a chance. Because, you know, Shin's so good when the ball's quick. She's so good at that constant rhythm. And she's decent off the slower ball. She's been working on her power counter. So Im has to try and start strong. Shin doesn't want to have to face heavy topspin, so it's not a good idea for him to push.
Is she turning into more of a doubles player now, do you think, Shin Yubin?
I think she's always been more of a doubles player in terms of, you know, her best success comes in doubles. I think there's been sprinkles of improvement. I think at the World Champs, she nearly took Sun Ying-sha to a 7th game. We saw an improvement in her belief there, despite losing from, 10-7 up in the 6th game. I think that the biggest issue is her movement. A little bit square from time to time, a little bit passive. So she's been working on being more proactive as an attacker after dropping down to outside the world's top 20. Let's focus on the positives. So this has been a really, really good game. And there you could just see she acted a little bit too prematurely, Shin Yubin. Caught out by the quicker float serve.
But of course, when you have game points, the temptation is to get it finished off.
Exactly. And you've got such little time at all times rather. Oh, now then.
10-9.
This is getting interesting, isn't it? From 10-6 up, the Korean pair could be in trouble, and they've called for the timeout.
That is a sensational shot there from Kuaiman. A forehand tomahawk off of that Chiquita.
Kuaiman stepping up when it counts.
남자애가 지금 막 찍어서 짧게 오잖아. 돌릴 수 있으면 뭐 해주는데 그거 아니면 지금 같은 박자로 짧게 가면 지금 다 떠가지고 우리 다 아닌다고 하다 맞잖아. 짧은 볼에서 줘도 돼. 정말 무슨 말인지 알겠네. 하나 주면 포인만 오는 거잖아. 하나 받아주고 또 연결 가도 지금 우리가 연결 가서 우리가 다 짰잖아. 근데 안 좋은 게 자꾸 네트 앞에 짧게 오다가 뜬서 자꾸 지금 그런단 말이야. 하나 진짜 뭐 너클을 하나 놓고 하나 또 튀길 수도 있으니까 여기서 하나 집중해주고 그리고 포인만 오는 거 볼이 그렇게 세진 않잖아. 지금 다 잘하고 있다고. 짧은 거에서만 조금 집중력 가져가지고 서플라스 어떻게 할까 잘 판단하고 빼고 하나 싹 돌리면 포인만 또 이렇게 밑에 세우면 되잖아. 하나 해야지 들어간다고. 지금 같은 상황에서 그냥 안전하게 넘기려고 했다.
你不用发不转的，如果赢下来这个球发不转的。
Well, the shouts inside the Infinity Arena are getting louder in favour of Kwai and Chen, saving 3 game points. Can they save another to take us to juice here?
Well, if they can do that against another serve, that would be so impressive. And I think it had shake and stir the pair in turquoise.
Oh. Well, Kuaiman pulled out an incredible shot, didn't she, to save the 3rd game point. Couldn't repeat the feat, and the Korean pair get away with that by the skin of their teeth, taking game number 2 by the same scoreline that the Chinese pair took game number 1. We are all level here.
Good mental strength there from Lim Jonghoon and Shin Yubin. It looks a little bit squeaky, but they managed to sneak through in the end. So there we go. Complete opposite to game 1, 11-9 to the Koreans.
Here's a look then at the winning ball placement from the Korean pair. There looks to be a decent spread there, Fraser.
Yeah, a lot of touch play going on initially, lots of play out into the middle, but most of the winners cross table, the longer length to play.
Game number 3 then. Square at a game apiece, and this pair in blue came close in game number 2, did very well from 4 game points down to save 3 of them. And that will have given the Koreans a scare. Kuaiman looking especially dangerous, Fraser, do you agree?
I agree here. I think that she is omnipresent. I think Kuaiman is the, in terms of placement, most crafty player at the table here. I think it's important that Yeah, both partnerships have to be wary about the cross-court balls. I think whichever pairing can play the parallels better will probably win. Because by playing the line in doubles, you're probably going to be hitting it against the momentum of your opponents.
Difficult to maneuver yourself around that way to play the parallels. It's, you know, easy in theory.
Yeah, it's easy in theory, and of course, if you play the ball to the middle, there is no parallel. It's harder for your opponent to create an angle if you're playing the ball down the middle. When you play a ball off of an acute angle, it's actually easier for your opponent to then do that as well. We saw that yesterday as an example between Gauger and Rainshaw's Moragard. It just got wider and wider and wider until eventually someone went, I'm going to go around the net.
Yeah, that was a fantastic point, wasn't it? One of the points of the day yesterday.
Yeah, that's safe to say. You won't see that as much in doubles because of the fact that players do adapt their playing styles to make life easier for their partner. Lim Jonghoon, for example, isn't playing with as much direct power as what he would do in singles, because you know if you play a powerful ball, the ball will probably come back with a similar speed, and that really puts pressure on your partner. You've got to be careful where you invest in that speed and spin game.
3, 4.
And of course, presumably, there's the issue of getting in each other's way as well.
Exactly. Which isn't as likely with a lefty-righty partnership, but still can be an issue. Clever shot from Shin Yubin there. Oh, I think that's the best rally of the match so far. Incredible how many world-class shots were played there. The parallel, Shin reacting, kuaiman playing the parallel, in reacting.
That was outstanding teamwork. Brilliant communication.
Playing the X's on the table and the H's. They're both partnerships here, upping the ante.
The Chinese pair now ahead for the first time in game number 3. Just inching their noses in front here.
Attempt to serve. Kuaiman felt like it was brushable, but it was barely attackable off that half long. Decent pendulum there from Shin.
Well, momentum swing back and forth in this one pretty quickly.
Even though, as spectators, we love to see these long rallies, what that's telling the players is that, well, maybe, just maybe, we're playing too loose. So let's try and maybe change, break the pattern, do something different. Let's try and play short and slow now.
But it does look to be, and of course, correct me if I'm wrong, it looks as though the Chinese pair, if they do get drawn into a rally, they are going to have the upper hand.
Well, I don't know about that. I think it's just so tight in that department. I'd be swinging more towards him and Shin being a little bit stronger in the rally, on average. But look, that is out of this world.
6, 7.
Maybe you're right, Rebecca. Maybe this is where the Chinese pair will get into the ascendancy. That is ridiculously good. That was a peach. You know, Chen Yuanyu doesn't look like the fastest guy. He's quite a big guy for a youngster. But he reads it very early where the ball's going, so his footwork doesn't need to be too quick.
7 on.
Yeah, he barely moved, did he, in that rally? He was, you know, rooted to the spot and just sent that ball firing into the body of Shin Yubin, and there's nothing you can do about shots like that, is there?
And he's fresh off a really, really encouraging win yesterday against Dima. He's been one of the big threats to Team China over the years. Two-time Olympic bronze medalist. Men's singles. So, you know, yesterday was actually a very, very good day for Team China. We saw a few of them lose, the younger players, but that's fine.
I mean, the expectation isn't so much on them as it is on their superstars here. It's more just an experience, a learning opportunity for them. Talking
to young players, Oh Jun Sung, someone who's been incredible recently. the man who won the star contender Chennai. That's his dad in the corner for Shin and Im. Oh, Xiangyun, great player in his heyday.
9-8.
You think about the last non-Chinese Olympic champion, a man from Korea. Ru Seung-min.
How far back are we talking?
We're talking 2004 Athens. That's how long the Chinese have been dominating.
It's fascinating indeed, and fascinating as well to look at the scoreline in game number 3. 9 points all. It's been very, very tight, hasn't it? These two sets of players very evenly matched, the top seeds versus the newcomers. Oh well, one newcomer versus an established doubles player, but gelling very well.
Oh wow, great play. Such smart shot selection there. Beautiful dwell from kuaiman. It was a classy forehand, but that was a wonderful block, Rebecca, absorbing that spin. Oh, and again, kuaiman. She is so good on that pivot.
And she's good in the big moments as well, isn't she, when it really counts.
Look at the precision here.
Incredibly quick thinking to step around. And she saved game point, crucially.
For him to not even get a bat on ball there. Incredible. And Shin showing a little bit of flair. You don't think of her as a flair player, Shin Yubin. You'll barely ever see her lobbing or playing chop blocks or strawberries or hook shots, for example. But, you know, that's more like it. Bit of flair in the attack. That's what she needs.
Oh, it's just so good.
11.
She was the orchestrator there.
I know that there were loads of shots played in that rally, but it was a poor receive, I think, from Shin. To be fair, on that angle, it didn't look as bad as what it looked on the previous angle. It just looked a little bit hesitant.
You can't afford hesitation.
It just seemed to put the Koreans on the back foot, that receive, but it was a great third ball from kuaiman.
And it's a third game point for the top seeds.
They've got to be aggressive. Will the Chinese serve short floats? Whatever happens, the Koreans have to try and pounce where they can. But Lim Jonghoon will probably flick this ball. No, different kind of serve. And look at that, the change proved to be a treat.
Did indeed. After 3 game points, Lim Jonghoon, Shin Yubin get game number 3 over the line, leading 2-1 in what is a tantalizing matchup.
I guess that Lim Jonghoon has realised that the Chinese are fairly comfortable countering his flick, so he touched there. I guess the serve was a little bit more towards the middle of the table. Good composure, good closure.
Well, let's have a look at what's still to come. Next up on table 1 in the Infinity Arena, Yukiya Uda of Japan. That's a look at him there, warming up behind the scenes. And he'll be taking on Lin Wenru of Chinese Taipei. That's in the men's singles second round coming up after this. There's Lin Wenru, the 11th seed here. A battle of the left-handers to come. But back to the mixed doubles, it is the Korean pair who are a game away now from a place in the quarterfinals. But you get the sense that kuaiman and Chen Yuanyu might have some tricks up their sleeve. It was interesting, Fraser, the way game number 3 ended. You predicted the flick from Lim Jonghoon, but it's like you always say, you have to be predictable. He didn't play as predicted.
The flick is a fantastic shot if it's right there. If you're convinced that it's going to really put you in an advantageous position, you should go for it. But, you know, the push counter tactic. Oh, big break.
Big break, a lucky break for the Chinese there.
What I'm trying to say is the push counter tactic usually allows yourself to be the first person to play the power counter. Oh, that's absolutely sensational. I'm very impressed with that one right there. No hesitation from Shin Yubin. Threaded it right down the line. That was a cold, cold finish. There, Lim Jonghoon going, whoa.
You can hear the crowd as well.
3-1.
Some real strength on show there from Chen Yuanyu.
Over the table. Decent lob there from Shin. Chen holding the ground. There's the flick.
4-1.
I guess it's hard to flick and then distance yourself correctly when you've got such aggressive opponents. That's a wonderful roll from Chen.
And given as well that the Chinese men's team is one that's in a transitionary period, he's really putting up his hand to for the decision makers to take notice of him. Still just 20 years of age, a relative youngster.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, they're going through a generational reset. And what a message Chen Jun-song sent yesterday against Tomokazu Haramoto. That is an outstanding result.
Against a top 5 player, absolutely.
On his smash debut, someone who only started representing Team China last year. Just when you begin to think that the baton is about to be passed, you're reminded.
But
in doubles, we've seen more upsets happen in terms of big names eliminated. Of course, trying to think back to the Olympics in 2020, Liu Shiwen and Xu Xin beaten by Haramoto, should I say Mima Ito and Ju Michitani in the finals. So doubles seems to be more open. And let's see if we see a Chinese pair fall here. Time out from them.
So the home players calling for the timeout, having relinquished their 3-point advantage here. This, of course, is a must-win game for them if they are to have any chance of progressing through to the quarterfinals. Oh, well, it was ambitious, wasn't it, from Chen Yuanyu trying to run around to retrieve that one. And the Koreans keeping in touch, keeping that single point deficit intact for now.
6 all.
That was very elegantly taken point from Lim Jonghoon. None of the raw power on display.
Yeah, we saw nice contact from Shin in here. That's a really clever flick. Side-swiping the ball to misdirect kuaiman and to guide it.
Seven straights.
Taken. Chen Yuanyu with his entire body weight behind that forehand, almost knocking himself off balance. The Chinese now doubling their advantage to 2.
Babies.
That was a brilliantly taken flick.
9 straight.
Chen Yuanyu really making the difference in these last couple of points for the Chinese team. Shake of the head from Lim Jonghoon. Clearly thinks he should have done better with that receive. And brilliantly done once again. Chen Yuanyu has orchestrated the last 3 points for the Chinese team to earn themselves 4 game points. It's been all one-way traffic since that time out for Team China.
Game 7.
Now is there a way back for Shin and Im here? That's the first of 4 game points saved. Saved well. The Korean pair combining well, and Shin Yubin with a thunderbolt of a forehand. Oh my goodness.
8, 10.
Brilliant work from Lim Jonghoon that time. Stepping around for the forehand. There's no living with that kind of raw power that he possesses. 2 game points saved. Still work to do though. Important serve coming up for Shin Yubin here.
Nine, 10.
That is a 3rd game point that has now been and gone for kuaiman and Chen Yuanyu. The crowd, you sense, are getting a bit restless here.
China.
Nervy moments.
Don't delay the match. 9, 10.
Chinese team just given a warning. Oh my goodness.
11, 9.
The miss hit, how costly from Lim Jonghoon. Finds the net, that normally reliable forehand, and he looks absolutely agonized. The Koreans saved 3 game points. They couldn't save the 4th, and we are level here now at 2 games all and heading into the decider.
백을 준다 지금 익히는데 떠도 되니까 지은 것이 뼈로 다닥 가주란 말이에요. 그러면은 떠더라도 저도 부담스럽단 말이에요. 근데 그냥 너 오는 거 이런 식으로 나가나 그냥 붙으면 그러면 종이 하나 그대로 주고 자 스트레이트 잘 봤는데 어찌됐든 우리가 한두 개씩은 견뎌줘야 된다고 리시브 튀어주면 쿠아이만 니팔 사이드로 이렇게 날라오잖아. 그럼 뭐 하나 해보려고
他正手这种球拉他，他怕什么？那天天我们都练这个，那正手一拉反拉不就完了？就把这个环节做好。接发球一样，女孩男孩你拧起来不行，女孩能怎么样把他？除非你亲你正手，他才有进攻，对不对？所以接发球5分前就释放了。
And this Chinese pair heading back to the table with much to think about. Did brilliantly to come from 10-6 down to save 3 game points, but crucially,
5th game.
or rather the Korean pair with much to think about, crucially couldn't save that 4th game point. on the verge of a place in the quarterfinals. Shin Yubin served very well towards the end of the fourth game. I do wonder whether Lim Jonghoon is a little bit in his head now. He's much more like it from the top seeds here. Reached the final of the last two smashes in Europe and the United States, in Sweden and Las Vegas.
1-2.
Kuaiman, of course, had her hands on the trophy on both occasions, but a different partner. Much tougher test here for her. Oh, that was just
3-1.
a bit too fast for Kuaiman. She didn't have the time she needed to stabilize herself to get that shot in, and there was almost an element of surprise there for the 21-year-old. Perhaps just a split second too slow to react.
GTR challenge.
Well,
Challenge by Chen. Service angle.
first challenge then of the match, the TTR, Table Tennis Review. We are looking at the service angle, which can't be more than 30 degrees off vertical. Players are entitled to 2 challenges per match. If the challenge is successful, then the challenge remains. If they're unsuccessful in the challenge, then they have 1 challenge remaining. These results do tend to come pretty quickly, so let's have a look at these video replays. Chen said that the angle was not vertical, and you can see there it is significantly off, 30 degrees off vertical, over 37 degrees.
Challenge remain 2.
So that is a successful challenge for the Chinese pair, meaning that they have 2 challenges remaining. Lim Jonghoon will be very aware of how he's serving.
2-4.
That is a good way to resume. Brilliant serve from Chuan, causing real problems for Shin. She just couldn't get a read on that one, and there's a decent quick point for the Chinese pair to keep themselves within touching distance of the top seeds here. Can he repeat that? They will set themselves up brilliantly for the third ball attack there. Kuai and Chen drawing level. 2 brilliant serves from the 20-year-old. Earning 2 quick points. Edging ahead now. Every point counts in this decider. The Korean pair relinquishing their advantage as the players change ends.
Four, 5.
From Kuaiman.
6-4.
It was absolutely genius. Chen set her up brilliantly to put away that winner, and let's just take another look here. A powerful forehand, and then he stepped back, allowing Kuaiman to take her position. Playing down the diagonal and out of reach of Shin Yubin, who was at full stretch but just couldn't get there on time.
7-4. Five, 7.
Brilliantly quick work from Shin Yubin to stretch across the table to play that forehand down the diagonal. It was set up beautifully for her there, playing in close to the table. It's exactly where she likes to be.
Eight, 6.
The roars of the crowd getting louder and louder in anticipation of this match reaching its conclusion. Oh, well, it was a brilliant forehand from Chen Kuaiman, attempting to replicate, but just too much on it. Sends the ball flying way, way wide. It's brilliantly done by Chen, stepping in close to the table to take that shot quickly. Yubin keeps the Korean pair in touch, and we are set for a tantalizing finish to this match. These are big, big points coming up. The place in the last 8 at stake for the winner of this one. Now the opponents for the quarterfinal are yet to be decided. It will be either Aditya Serene or Yashasvini Gopade, the mixed association pair, who are taking on none other than Wang Chuqin and Sun Ying Sha a little later on. Oh my goodness. Big roars of delight from the crowd and from the Chinese pair as they earn themselves 2 match points here. Shin and Im on receive. The Chinese pair hold their hands aloft in apology. That ball just catching the net on the way over, favouring them, but they had those 2 match points nonetheless to play with. The Koreans sent their return long, and it is Chen Yuanyu and Kuaiman who advanced to the quarterfinals after a thrilling 5-game encounter, knocking out the top seeds Lim Jonghoon and Shin Yubin. It was an incredibly close match, 11 points to 9, the scoreline in both the first and second games. Momentum shifting between both sets of players, but eventually it was the Chinese pair who prevailed in front of the home crowd in what was a pretty nervy finish to this match. Congratulations then to the home players. Here's another look then at how the match was won. The apology from the Chinese pair showing great sportsmanship, acknowledging their fortune with that ball just clipping the top of the net on the way over. So with 2 match points, they got it done with the first one. An agony for Lim Jonghoon as he and his partner Shin Yubin exit the China Smash. Well, here's a look then at the winning ball placement. Good variety of balls across the table. That is where Chen Yuanyu and Kuaiman landed their winning shots. So So a look then at how they won that match. Quite a long match, over 45 minutes in duration, 53 points versus 50. It was as close as can be, and both sets of players pretty evenly matched in terms of serve as well. So we knew it was going to be tight heading into this one, and it proved to be so. But what an achievement for Chen Yuanyu and kuaiman, the wild cards in this event, in their first event together. And doing it at the China Smash in front of the home crowds to knock out the top seeds is quite some achievement, and could point towards a very successful partnership in years to come. So congratulations indeed to them, and we look forward to seeing them in the quarter-final. And we look forward to hearing from them now. We can get their thoughts on that impressive win, because they are now with Fraser Riley.
kuaiman and Chen Yuanyu have just taken down the top seeds here at the WTT China Smash 2025. Congratulations, kuaiman and Chen Yuanyu. kuaiman, normally we see you playing with Lim Jonghoon. Now you're with a new player, Chen Yuanyu. So how did you manage to beat such a strong pairing today?
恭喜源于蒯曼晋级4轮。蒯曼二位是一对非常新的搭档，之前蒯曼和林诗栋搭档了很久。那么今天二位是如何击败对手这对默契十足又实力强劲的老搭档的呢？
我之前也都经常和林诗栋配吧，然后这次其实也没有和他配，但是陈元宇确实也是一名年轻的小将吧，然后。然后我和他配的次数也很少吧，然后虽然说我们配合的不是很多，对，但是我们在场上和场下的沟通都做得特别细致吧，然后在场上也不管碰到什么样的困难，都充分的相信搭档吧，对。
Yes, indeed. Previously, I usually paired with Xu Dong, and this time I didn't choose to pair with him. And Yuanyu is a very young player. Although we seldom paired up, we don't have enough experience before, but we have done detailed communication on court or off court. I fully trust him, and we have trust in between each other.
You certainly did an incredible job together as a pair. Now, Yuanyu, looking forward at the draw, at the upcoming matches, the potential matches, what are your goals and expectations here at the China Smash in mixed doubles with kuaiman?
元宇，那么面对接下来的比赛，你有着怎样的期待与目标呢？
我觉得对手其实一场都比一场强吧。其实对于下场我们还是全力以赴吧。
As the tournament progresses, our opponent is only going to get stronger and stronger, so I would do our best in the next match.
Great to watch you play today. Congratulations.
Well, lovely to hear from our winners there. kuaiman entertaining the crowd, talking about the youngster Chen Yuanyu, who actually is just 1 year her junior. Very funny indeed. So they are through to the quarterfinals, the first pair into the last 8, and have a look at that. That could be potentially a very intriguing quarterfinal as well, if it is Sun Yingshan and Wang Chuqin who progress. But to do that, they must defeat Serene and Gopade, and that match is coming up later on in session 2. Next up, Japan's Yukiya Uda taking on the silent assassin Lin Wenru of Chinese Taipei. That's coming up in just a few moments' time.